Greetings and welcome to the Equity.Guru Investor Roundtable. I'm Rob Simpson, and I am pleased to have along, sitting right above me, in fact, Joseph Morton. And then just above him is Vishal Tura. And then up there on the top bunk, if you're old enough to remember the Brady Bunch, he'd be Mike Brady. It's TK Indachena, who's going to start us off here in a second, because today we're talking about EarthRenew. Now, this is an Alberta-based company. I love their slug lines. They're a revolutionary 360-degree solution for organic fertilizer production. Our technology helps turn waste into wonder. So part of this essentially is they're utilizing dung for, for other purposes. TK, what do we got?
Awesome. I want to start off by saying this is quite an interesting situation where their main line of business is the organic side of it. They deal with dung and fertilizer manufacturing. But most of their revenue comes from energy generation. So they actually do energy contracts in Alberta and stuff like that. And I think it's diversification for them, which kind of allows them to have money building up whilst they're accumulating facilities to do the organic fertilizer production and etc. So I know as of 2021, most of their sales is from generating natural gas. And I just found that a fun fact. But most of the advertising is focused on the other line of business.
Right.
All electricity sales.
The other kind of natural gas, right?
Yeah.
The results of natural gas.
The one that's publicly traded.
So, Vishal, I guess we can hit some numbers in this way, but it is fascinating. And sector-wise, I guess it's agriculture, but what TK's just pointed out, it's kind of energy as well. It's a weird kind of crossover.
Yep, and as we just laughed about that, the electricity sales here, that's what we see on the revenues, about 500K there. I think it's no secret. I love agriculture. I'm actually very bullish agriculture. So this company, I actually really like it. It's something that I think has some real value. I've been following agriculture for a long time. In the mining industry, we were talking about using zinc to actually replenish soil, because as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, but because of all the pesticides and stuff that we use in the soil, and also now the weather is crazy. Usually during wintertime, the soil will replenish, and then, spring you'll have good soil. But because of the pesticides, because of weird weather and all that kind of stuff, soil's been damaged, and we're actually not yielding as much as we used to. And with a lot of my investor friends, we're actually all looking at farmland in Central America because they actually have the best organic farmland. And I think in North America, there is going to be you're going to have to replenish the soil somehow, but there's other people who believe, no, that doesn't really matter because we can do indoor farming, right? Greenhouse farming and all that kind of stuff. So I'm big on this. I love the whole idea of replenishing soil. I'm one of those guys that thinks that a lot of health issues are coming because the soil is not, retaining the vitamins and minerals. So a lot of the food we eat, is not having the vitamins and minerals it used to have. Hence why you're seeing large sales in supplements and organic food. And I think this company addresses all of that, which is why I really like it. We talked about the electricity sales, and I just want to show you guys this. They did announce first 6 months of revenue, but then also an option grant. And they acquired a company here called Replenish Nutrients. And they acquired these guys on May 1st, 2021. And that subsidiary, which they wholly own now, reported revenue for the period from January to June of this year, 4.3 million. And Replenish is also reporting revenue for the 12-month period of 9 million. But since EarthRenew bought these guys, it reported 1.4 million in revenue from May till now. But this is the where it gets interesting. Even though they reported revenues, the stock has just been declining. It doesn't like the numbers, and maybe it's because it needs a bit more bump in buyers or some more interest. But the stock has been, you can see here, it was on a tear. It did hit 52-week highs, hitting about 57 cents February of this year. But since then, we've just been declining. And honestly, we're at a big support area here. This is the 22-cent zone. And really, it has to hold. It has to hold. If it doesn't, unfortunately, we're going to 15 cents and maybe record lows around 7 cents. But I find that interesting, the fact that they are printing revenues. I love the sector. I love what they do. But as TK said, it seems like they might be focusing more on the electricity sales rather than the actual agriculture part of their industry.
Which takes us to Joseph. And so when you hear all this, what are you thinking as an investor?
Well, that's not okay. Primarily what I like about this company, I'll get into that for a moment, but what I like is what I look for here are the strong fundamentals. I don't admittedly understand most of Vishal's chart, which are pretty but specifically what I like about this company is good strong fundamentals mixed with a good strong trajectory and vision. In this case, what we're seeing is this company is actually signing deals with crypto miners. Now, the cryptocurrency, of course, especially proof of work coins like Bitcoin, they have massive power suck problems, which means that they the entire hash, the entire cryptocurrency, the Bitcoin network uses up the same amount of electricity as the country of Argentina, for example. And any kind of alternative source of energy is a potential lucrative opportunity for a company like EarthRenew, who can turn their what's the family-friendly way of saying this? Their poop into
manure.
Livestock
manure.
Into energy, which can then be used to mine Bitcoin. That's an excellent example of the kind of a lateral thinking which I look for, because it opens up multiple different directions for revenue generation.
That's really interesting. Is this TK? It's so unique. Is there competition? I'm sure there is competition, but it's probably crossover competition, because this is kind of a unique company.
I was going to say it's a weird industry to be in because of two things really that I think they're struggling with and what the market might be pricing in. A drop of close to 50%, the market is saying something. There's something going on underneath the hood. And if you kind of take a look at the business, it's competition. Both industries are pretty highly competitive because they're both commodity businesses. So there's a lot of people trying to do the same thing, although you might apply certain technology a little different to get efficiencies of scale and stuff like that, which might help you with the cost of it. But you can't run away from the fact that it's also a capital intensive business. For you to generate $1 of earnings, you need to put $2 of CapEx down, which can weigh a lot of the shareholder value over time, and can need a lot of cash just to keep running. So I think as of their last reporting, they had close to $800,000 cash, but they have financing outside of that as well. They have this, I won't go into too much of it, but it's a private equity firm in the US that offered them an equity financing of $10 million, where they can withdraw $500,000 from it when need be and stuff like that. So it's a telltale sign of how capital intensive the business is. And to keep competitive, you need that constant cash flow coming in, even if you aren't able to do it at the top line. And it kind of puts them in a position where they have to diversify their business to allow them to do the main core manure part.
Just speaking and building upon that, as you guys know, basically to replenish soil, you can use potash and is it phosphate or phosphorus, right? So there's a lot of companies that do that just sell that. A lot of them are based out of Saskatchewan. So what distinguishes EarthRenew is they're saying that their organic fertilizer formula, it actually offers 20 to 40% higher yields than using the equivalent application of the chemical fertilizer. So that chemical fertilizer, there's a lot of that's probably cheaper. And then, going to Joseph's point and TK's point, they do sort of have to diversify to distinguish themselves. And it's probably, with their technology, right? The fact that they can produce that, but not only that, just by producing that fertilizer, you're actually getting some electricity, which you can then resell back to the grid and make a profit that way. So, they have to sort of focus on that rather than, okay, sure, our fertilizer is great. Yes, you can buy potash and all that kind of stuff, but you sort of have to prove a point that, why would people want to buy the organic one? And they're looking at organic sales. They're thinking that trend in organic food and organic everything is going to be big. And you can sort of see here on their investor deck that they believe it's going to go higher and higher.
So essentially, one of the benefits or one of the positives is if you're an eco-friendly investor, if I'm hugging trees and kissing birds,
ESG, that's what they call it.
This is going to be my option. All right, real quick, I got $2,500 in my pocket. I got to go to the market tomorrow morning or Monday morning, whatever day it is, Tuesday, Wednesday. What am I spending on these fellas? And I'm thinking, based on the price you're talking about, V, we're looking at like it might be an enticement. You're like, geez, this thing's down. Let's jump.
Yeah. But I mean, as you can see with the slope here, the downtrend is really obvious. And that's my only worry. When you're buying things in a downtrend, yes, you can buy it and then hold it for the long term, but you're missing, there's an opportunity cost. There might be other things you're missing. And generally, when something's in a downtrend, it's accustomed to, catching a falling knife. So what I would do is I would wait a bit. I would just see how price reacts here. And if we can climb back above this trend line or maybe break above, I'll give the viewers a number here. Let's say the 27-cent zone. If we can get a close above that, that would actually indicate a shift off the trend, which is what you want to see. But again, what I'm sort of worried about is the fact that they announced, all these earnings and revenue here, but the stock just couldn't get a pop on that. So I would just be patient a bit and have my money ready to go maybe, or buy something else.
Joseph, on board later, now?
Later. I'm looking at that downtrend, that line right there, and I want to see it bottom. I want to see it flatten out. I want to see it. I want to find out where it stops, and then maybe I don't know. It starts small because right now they're doing the right things, which is the reason why I would get in. But I'm not going to throw a large amount of my stake at it until I see more deals, more diversity, more ways of using their electricity. Maybe even find a whole secondary product or try to make a deal and try to sell electricity to the grid. Those are the big things I'd want to see.
DK, bucking the trend or going with the boys here?
I think I'm going with the boys here. It's just, I feel like eventually they're going to issue more shares and dilute your ownership and everything. So I'd rather wait and see where the bottom is.
All right.
Then I'll go dumpster diving.
Very good. That was TK. That's Joseph. And Vishal, I'm Rob. And we've been talking about EarthRenew. And again, of course, people, as we've always say and always heard, past results do not guarantee future performance. So do your own investment research. These guys are just giving you a little background and information, but it's all up to you to make the ultimate decision on where your money goes. But thanks for checking us out on the Equity Guru Investor Roundtable. It is EarthRenew, and we will talk to you again next time. Thank you very much.